Hello guys, welcome to another video from Third Power Solution, and in this particular video we'll be looking at the differences in between these particular gadgets or devices that you are seeing here. These are 4 different devices, but in some cases some people used to mistake them from each other or think that their functionality are in one way or the other the same. But in this particular video, we will be looking at the advantages that they have above each other and what each of them actually stands for and what they actually do when it's being integrated to your solar inverter installation or anything that you intend to use it for when it comes to electrical tech in general. So firstly, what we'll be looking at is this particular device below here. This one is called a stabilizer. This is an automatic voltage stabilizer and it's a Century product. So this one here we are looking at is an SPD, is a surge protecting device. This is the name of this particular one and it's from Joyce Elect. So, and this one you are looking at here also is a smart meter. This one is a smart meter. It looks alike like this one, but they are not the same. This one is a voltage protector, while this one is a smart meter, and this one is a voltage stabilizer. So firstly, I will start by, let's look at the functionality of this particular one below here, this voltage stabilizer. What this one does basically is to stabilize your voltage. Like for instance, if you look at the screen of this particular device now, you see that the voltage, this one above here is the input volt. Let me bring it up so that it is a bit heavy. You look at the one in yellow color is the input voltage of my grid lights currently, and the one below is the output voltage. So the work of this one basically is to bring in what NEPA has to offer you and stabilize it and give out what is suitable for your appliances. Like most gadgets that we use in Nigeria requires 220 to 230 volts to function properly. So, but this particular one can peak from 90 volts and stabilize it to the required volts that your device need in your building. So that is basically the functionality of this one. And based on this particular one that I'm holding here, this one is a 2000 VA. This is a 2 kVA stabilizer. There are other sizes that you can get in the market, but the functionality of this one is just to bring in what your grid has to offer and stabilize it to what your appliances requires to use. And this particular one, before I send it, it has a countdown. So let me turn it off. You can see it's off now. Let me turn it on now. You see the way it works. So you see it have a 5 seconds countdown. Then that is basically the way it works. But this one has another free feature that I've not actually seen in some stabilizer. Like this particular one, it has this um output, this 210 volts output. Like there are some devices that I've come across in my years of practice, and I noticed that those particular devices, if you give them this 230 volts, those devices are going to spoil immediately. And those devices are commonly used in Europe, like some Europe country. That is their standard voltage. So like if you by any chance you have that device and you want to use it in Nigeria, if you plug it here, what this place is going to give us is 110 volts. This is the main 230 volts output over here. So, and what this does basically is that if you have been following the trend of this particular input, you'll be seeing that he has been inconsistent. He has been going up, coming down, going up, coming down. But if you look at the output, you see that it stays consistent, not going up and not coming down. So you see that this particular voltage coming in that has not been consistent can have a lot of bad effects on your appliances. But what this one actually does is that it keep the the current or the voltage going to your appliances stable at all time. So this can, in places that you can actually apply this, you can use it for your solar inverter installation. Like for basically, this particular one you're looking here is charging a 3 kVA hybrid inverter from Felicity. And what I did, if you notice, you see that that 3 kVA is actually more than this 2 kVA of the size of this particular device. So what I do is that I reduce the charging current of that 3 kVA to about 15 amps. So with that 15 amps, is going to work with this perfectly without no issue. So these have been my main source for stabilizing. So now the next thing we'll be looking at here is this particular one here. This is the SPD, is a surge protector. What this one does basically is that it um, prevents thunder strike from affecting your device or your inverter, like whatever you use it to protect. That is like the number one function of it. It protects surge from getting into your devices. So but this one, it does not work on its own. So when the is being connected here, when your input is being connected, you need like earth, you need to grind it to the earth. So how this one works basically is that when there is a thunder strike and your earth is properly being done and is functioning properly, what this does is that when there is a thunder strike, and you know that a thunder strike in most times it comes with a lot of voltage, a lot of amperage as well, like about thousands of voltage at a second. I know that once that pass through this device and by any chance it gets into your inverter or whatever appliances you are using, is going to, like, because most, just like I explained with this particular one, most appliances uses about 230 volts in Nigeria. Imagine when something that requires 230 volts is not getting about 1000 volts or 2000 or thereabouts. So you know that is going to be like a very terrible thing. So what this one does basically is to protect a thunder strike from affecting your device, or there are some kind of surges too that can basically occur in maybe from your inputs at some point. This can actually protect it depending on how it is. So that is basically the work of this one. It does not function alone. You need to grind it, and the basic function of this one is that based on there is a grind already, there's a earth connection to it already, it's going to divert that excess current that is coming. Instead of it passing through this and getting to your device, it's going to divert it into the ground. That is the functionality of this one. So now let's look at this one. Now this is the one we call voltage protector, just like the name implies. So a lot of people used to misplace the functionality of this to this particular one. This one here is a voltage protector, and what it does basically is that if this what it does basically is that it protects bad voltage from entering into your device, but it does not stabilize it. It does not have the ability of stabilizing your voltage, but it protects bad one from getting to your device. Like for instance, if you have this particular device and now we have about 164 volts coming in from the grid. This does not have the ability to turn that 166 volts to 230 volts. But the only thing it can do is that it can like dictate that this 166 volts is not good for your appliance, and it will stop it from getting to that particular appliance. So that is the reason why they use this mostly for most of the solar inverter installation, from protecting it from bad current getting to it. And this one does not have like the ability to do that itself. So that is the reason why you need to set it. And on that process of you setting it, you are basically telling him that you can tell him, you are basically telling him that this is what I recognize as a bad voltage, and this is what I recognize as a good voltage. You are the one to set it for him to know that, okay, you now, you may, maybe that particular device you are using, you want to use this to protect. It can take the minimum voltage you can take is about 170. You will tell this device that, okay, once this voltage go below 170, don't send it to this my inverter. That is when it's going to function for you. And you can also tell him that when the voltage that is coming to you is more than 240 volts, don't send it to my inverter, and it's going to do that for you. You are the one to tell him what you consider as a bad voltage and what you also consider as a good voltage. The same thing too, it protects the amperage too as well. Like, it has limits of amperage that can go through it. This is a 63 amp voltage protection, but you can reduce it, that, okay, when you get to this particular amperage, Lord, let it pass through you, and it's going to do that for you. You are the one to tell him that this is what is good and this is what is bad. But this particular guy here, you don't need to tell him. Once you put it on, he knows that this one is bad. I need to stabilize it and give you what is good. So those are the difference between these two and this. Now let me put it on and you see the way this particular one function. So basically, you can see, yes, the current getting is going, you also have a 5 seconds countdown. You can see, then it's sent. So basically, because I plug it to this particular device, now is taking, is the output is high because is getting is source from the output of this device. Assuming I plug it to the source where this one is coming from, the voltage is going to be very low. That is what you should know about this particular one. So now I can actually set it. You can see I can actually set it to tell him that, okay, this voltage, bring it down or take it high, or whatever I intend to do with it. I can set it for it to behave that way. So that is basically all about this one. I will make another explanatory video telling you, showing how you can set this, how you can, whatever, like whatever setting that you'll be able to do on this. I'm going to make a video for that. So now let's look at this one over here. This is a smart meter, just like as the name implies, smart meter. So this one and this, they have some things in common, but this one has some features way ahead of this particular one. This is a smart meter. The smart meter have some features way ahead this one. So this one has its functionality is basically under voltage and over voltage protection, and also some amperage protection to some extent. But this one has that the same functionality too as well. It has under voltage and over voltage protection, and it also detects leakage on the current that is coming into your building or your appliances that you're using this one to protect. So that is another advantage of this over this one. And this one too as well, you can use it to track the uh, energy you are consuming. Like for instance, if I put this particular one now and I plug a device to it, it's going to show me the voltage that is coming in, the energy that I'm consuming from the meter in real time is going to show me everything. And that is another advantage that you have over this one. And another advantage that is still that this monitor actually have over this one too as well is that you can set time on it, that, okay, maybe for instance you have an inverter system that you installed, and maybe you plan to make that particular system a total off-grid system, and now you want for few hours you want NEPA to be able to charge it maybe for just 1 hour a day. This guy can do that for you. Once you put it at the input of the inverter, you can tell him that, okay, every day start charging my inverter. If there is NEPA light, start charging my inverter from 1 o'clock, and when you get to 2 o'clock, you stop charging it. This guy can do that particular function for you. And there's another function that this guy still have again. That is about 3 to 4 options over this particular one. The another function that this one actually have is that you can tell him that, okay, when a particular amount of energy is being consumed through you, you should go off. So that particular features, you can use it for selling energy. Like for instance, you have neighbors that have not been able to get a solar system, and you have your own solar system that you'll be using excess energy on it. That like you have excess energy during the daytime that is going to waste. You can decide to be selling your energy to your neighbors only during the daytime by using that feature of timer, that okay, that you can give this particular meter set the output that is going to your neighbor's place. You set it on this particular one, then you see that okay, from 12 o'clock in noon till 6 in the evening, that is the only time that your neighbor can have access to use your light. And you can also set it that okay, maybe you want to sell 1 kilowatt to your neighbor for 50 naira. You can set it on this. If your neighbor give you about 500 and you know that you will give him 10 kilowatts, so that 10 kilowatts you can set it to this particular meter that okay, when this neighbor use up to 10, when a 10 kilowatts energy is being consumed through you, stop sending current. So when it stops sending, you need to add more energy to it again before your neighbor can have access to that. This guy has the ability of doing that too as well. So, and this one, you can actually use it to like that leakage detection. You can use it for it too. So that is basically, and this one too is actually a 63 amps smart meter too as well. So that is basically the difference between all of them. So I'm going to do like a quick rerun again on the differences between this stuff. This one is a voltage stabilizer. This one down below here, it stabilizes your voltage. Your voltage that comes in, it stabilizes it and send out what it sees as the best option for your gadget. Why this one here protects surge from affecting your inverter or whatever gadget you are using it to protect. Instead of the surge going to your inverter, it will take into the earth pit that you have done outside. But before that can be activated, it needs to be connected to this. And when a thunder strike have actually affected this green since this green line you are seeing in between here will turn to red immediately. So that's about this. And this one is a voltage protector. It does not regulate voltage. It does not stabilize voltage. It always bring in what your grid has to offer, but in a way you can actually tell him that okay, this one is a bad voltage for me, don't send it, or this is a good voltage for me, send it. You can tell that to him, but it does not have the ability to detect it itself. You are the one to let him know that this is what you consider as bad and this is what you consider as good. So this one is just a smart meter. It has the functionality of this one too. It has over voltage and under voltage protection, and you can use it to sell current to people. And they also have leakage detection. So that is basically the differences between this. If you find this particular video helpful, kindly click on the subscribe button, drop your comments or your thoughts. Let me know what you want us to address next, and also like this particular video so that you can reach more people. That is basically all you should know about this 3 device. So maybe in my next video I'm going to single-handedly bring out these devices one by one and show you how you can connect this, because this actually have a Wi-Fi connection. You can connect it to your phone and like it works from your phone. So this is the only one that have a Wi-Fi connection out of these 3 devices you are looking at it. So I'm going to like bring them out one by one and dive into their functionality more deeper. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. And please don't forget to click on that particular subscribe button. It's very important. And also drop your thoughts under the comment section. Thank you.